Live from Drzonków, this is Modern Pentathlon Under 24 European Championships. My name is Wojciech Nowakowski. I will commentate for you now the riding event of the mixed relay competition. We've got already finished the events of swimming and fencing with two Ukrainian pairs in the lead. Ukraine 2 of Irina Bojchenyuk and Vladislav Chekan leading by 2 points ahead of Irina Kubrak and Kirim Shekmametyev, and that's quite a strong lead ahead of the third placed team of Czech Republic, Anna Rubičková, Jakub Maleček with only 518 points, meaning about 50 points of loss to Kubrak and Shekmametyev, 55 exactly to Bojchenyuk and Chekan. In the horse riding we'll have as well 11 pairs, and the first one is right now called for the parkour. The first pair is Lithuania of Medea Ginetite and Ugnius Kabelinskas, riding Ara Valvaro and Fala. You can now see that the volunteers preparing the parkour are slowly talking how they should be set for the best possible setting of today's parkour, as in case of the need of rebuild after the knockdown. Of course, it has to be quickly rebuilt for the second ride, as we have the girl riding in the first round of those 8 obstacles, and the man riding as the second at the same parkour of 8 obstacles with no double, no triple combinations here. So we've got just 8 jumps in those 8 obstacles, 4 verticals, 4 axers. The time limit is 2 minutes exactly, and the start and finish line is the, let's call it garden, the change zone in the back of the riding hall. And we are now waiting for the first pair, as I said, the Lithuanians, Medea Ginetite and Ugnius Kabelinskas, who finished last in the fencing with 177 points, and being 8th in the swimming. And we see that Ginetite is riding Fala, and Kabelinskas rides Ara Valvaro, and they need to come into the zone after the salute, and then they can start their ride. And we start with Medea Ginetite on Fala, with number 1 cleared, with preparing the line for obstacle number 6, quite an easy one this time, and also not a problem on the third obstacle. And now changing, yes, that's the hardest line to choose, and you need to be decided how to ride it before the ride. But now the change didn't cause any knockdown, but surely lost the pace, and there's a knockdown on the 5th obstacle, with the line prepared for obstacle number 6 without a knockdown this time. So it's still just one knockdown by Ginetite, and number 7 and 8 in a straight. And now coming to the change zone. And what is Ugnius Kabelinskas now waiting for? He doesn't understand. Well, he's a young rider. He doesn't know that he should be riding. Yes, that's the lack of experience we usually see for the young riders, where the time is still going. So he should be starting as quick as possible. He still doesn't know what is he doing, and now we see that they are both resigning. Yes, this the resignation of the ride, so that means the elimination of them, or rather did not finish. So it's Agnieszka Belińska's, the athlete who did not ride yesterday, is just UFB athlete of 204. And that means that Kabelinska's withdrew, but he gave the opportunity for Ginny to train on Fala. And well, that's not a lack of experience causing the misunderstanding of the need of starting at the moment of the end of the coming to the change by the partner, but it's simply lack of experience causing not allowing to start, not deciding not to start for the competition. But we can now see the knockdown by Ginny, which in fact doesn't have any meaning as it's 0 for Lithuania. And now we've got Agnieszka Wysokińska on Harris and Kamil Kasperczak on Bachus. The team of Poland finishing 10th in the fencing, 492 points, and it's Wysokińska now starting for that ride of the relay with clubmate from Drzonków, Kamil Kasperczak. And she decides to get that fluent ride on the obstacle number 4. Unfortunate with the knockdown, but that was the decision that needs to be made. That's a hard point of this parkour with different possibilities of preparing the jump to the obstacle number 5. You can see she lost now the line to number 6, but managed to recover and has knocked down on that. But the earlier 2 knockdowns on number 4 Oxer and the vertical number 5 cost 14 penalties for that team. But there is a correct transition, correct change for the relay, and it's Kamil Kasperczak who needs to clear the whole parkour to keep the chances of the team to get a good place in today's competition. But he gets the knockdown on the obstacle number 3, deciding to make the shorter turn ahead of the obstacle number 4, which was he planning to do as far as I know. So he managed to fulfill his plan, and he did it well with no knockdown on number 4, showing that it is possible to go this way. Before that obstacle number 8, but there's a knockdown on number 7 and on number 8 with totally lost pace on Behus. But we've got the result of 35 obstacle penalties for 5 knockdowns overall, 265, but with 757 they are still they are leading now, as the Lithuanians did not finish their ride. We can now see that lost pace a one fully too much, bad counted by Kasperczak to that jump number 8, and that cost and that's 35 obstacle points, penalty points, and Wysokińska gets Kasperczak gets the 3rd place with 265 in riding, and overall with 757. And we've got another withdrawal by Sidal Aslan and Dora Nusretoglu, the Turkish team. They were to ride Lilienthal and Carthago. So Lilienthal, the horse that caused quite a lot of problems for the athletes in the women's event, with elimination of Chyżowa and bad result of Ginny Tita in the earlier ride with 222. But after that there was a test right for Lilienthal with a clear right in that test, so yesterday it succeeded with Duran Sretoglu on a clear right, but and just two knockdowns by Horty Berezniakov. But today the duo of Sidal Aslan and Doranus Retoglu, only in Talent Carthago, decided not to go on the parkour. And we are now waiting for the other Turkish pair of the women's individual champion from Friday, Ilke Özyüksel and Bugra Ünal, riding Cardozo and Vulcan. They are supposed to start at 12:59 according to the schedule of today's event, so we still have 1 more minute for them to go to prepare to that competition ride. Cardozo was having quite a good results during the competition with 300 or so, the clear ride by Anna Rubiczkova, one knockdown for both men who rode him yesterday, Daniel Wawrynowicz and Bence Kordosz. And in the end, the women's two knockdowns of Leah Egloff. We can now see that jump by Wysokińska, that knockdown on that fourth obstacle. That's the obstacle we need to see, and that's a good lesson for the athletes, how to prepare the good line, how to pick the line for preparing the horse to the jump, as there are a few possibilities, one a little bit longer but a little bit faster and allowing to catch the good rhythm, the good pace before the jump. But as we could have seen, Kasperczak has chosen the harder line, but in fact he was the one to succeed from the duo of him and Agnieszka Wysokińska. And now we can see Ilka Özyüksel on Cardozo, with also the same line as Wysokińska took a while ago, but also having a knockdown on that Oxer numbered 4. Number 6 clear without the knockdown. And that line of 7 and 8 with 3, 4 full A. And that's the false start for Bugra Ünal. And that will be the elimination. We can now hear that triple whistle. False start before he left the change zone, before Ilke came to the parkour. That false start means elimination. We heard that triple whistle. Yes, that is confirmed by the referees, so we can see it in a replay for that transition. Yes, this is the elimination, and I think that well, these are quite inexperienced riders here. So, well, such a mistake happens in the nerves of the during the competition. You can now see Ilke Özyüksel jumping the obstacle number 6. So they are eliminated with 0 points, so no points neither for the first or the second team of Turkey, leading to the next position going up by Wysokińska and Kasperczak. You can now see they're still not wanting to leave the parkour. Looks like Bugra Ünal decides not to. Decides to stay with Vulcan. Yes, now the Turkish team is leaving the parkour. and we are inviting the next team, which is the Czech team of individual bronze medalists Karolina Krzękowa and Marek Grich, riding Maximus and Promyk. They should have been already on the parkour, according to the time, but maybe... yes, we've got now Maximus get Krzękowa on Maximus, the grey gelding you can see now in the garden, and Promyk, the bay gelding, in fact the dark bay gelding, almost black one, under her teammate Marek Grich. But we got now Krzękowa on the parkour with number 1 and number 2 cleared. And number 3 is now cleared by her, and that's another one. Now the 4th. Yes, behind that fence number 8. She jumped the clear one, so the line chosen by Wysokińska and Özüksel that led to knockdown here, this time chosen by Krzękowa with a clear one on number 4 and the whole clear ride. So now Marek Grich with a correct exchange in the change zone. And we've got now Grich on the course with 2 jumps already cleared by yesterday's bronze medalist, but gold medalist from last year's individual competition. Also choosing this line behind number 8, I think only Kasperczak decided to cut it in the most tight way behind the fence number 5. You can see now that is the vertical obstacle cleared now by Grich on Promyk. And you can see now there's another clear jump by Grich, jumping very well today as he's preparing, and there's that first knockdown, so set too early, but just one knockdown by the team of Czech Republic within the time limit, so that's just 7 penalty points for them, 293, round 800 in total, so that will be an easy one to count for the next relays. And in a while we will have Wiktoria Wierzba and Łukasz Gutkowski on Kakan and Dark Diamond respectively, as far as I got to know that that exchange that was called by the coaches, and that's what we see now. Kakan, the dark horse, having so far all his rides during this championships clear, with 300s under Krzękowa and Wojcieniuk in the women's competition, and yesterday under Yunus Chaliskan from Turkey. And now it's the challenge for Wiktoria Wierzba to keep his clear right streak, and she's doing that well during that first 3 obstacles, deciding to give him a little bit of gallop before number 4, and that's a clear doxer by Wiktoria Wierzba, now going very wide to that number 5, but succeeding to have it with without a knockdown, as well as number 6. Quite a sure ride by Wierzba at this parkour, very fast, and a little bit of doubt before it, a little bit of lost pace, but cleared the ride. And the correct transition in the change zone, leading Łukasz Gutkowski in the military uniform of Polish Army to the parkour with the knockdown on that number 2 obstacle, causing a little bit of problems for the girls. Jumped on Friday, as well as the horse riding on Thursday, which was when it was jumped from the other way, from the side of our camera. Today that was the first knockdown on that obstacle, but it seems that Gutkowski is recovering well from it. No knockdowns after it, so it's still just one knockdown by this team, aiming to they were aiming to tie the result of Krzenkova and Grich, but now with refusal on the Axor number 6, it's -10, so -17 overall for Gutkowski. A little bit of time lost in here, but now waiting for the finish line, and they're perfectly within the time limit with the time of 2 minutes. So Wiktoria Wierzba, with her fast pace of Kakan, managing to save that time lost by Gutkowski after that refusal. So only 10 points less than Krzenkova and Grich, which will be 10 points of loss also in the overall classification, as they were tied in points before the riding event. And now we have about 20 minutes of break before the ride of the inauguration ride of the second round with Anna Jurt and Vital Müller from Switzerland. So I welcome you for a little bit of break.
Just 5 minutes to start. Second round, 5 minutes to start.
So we are back for the second round of today's riding event for the mixed relay competition at the Under-24 Junior European Championships here in Drzonków. We've got 5 teams left to go to that parkour, with Swiss team of Anna Jurt and Vital Müller, Lithuanians Elżbieta Adomaitytė, Titas Brunas, the Czech team of Anna Roubiczkova, Jakub Maleczek, and 2 Ukrainian pairs, Irina Kubrak and Kirim Shechmametyev, and Irina Boychenyuk and Vladislav Chekan, leading the field of the athletes after swimming and fencing, with 2 points of advantage over their compatriots Kubrak and Shechmametyev, and over 50 points ahead of Roubiczkova and Maleczek, thanks to the outstanding fencing by all the Ukrainians, especially comparing to the results of the teams classified in the lower positions. While waiting for the Swiss team, we can now see the classification after the riding of the first round. We do not have it, of course, yet officially confirmed, so we won't show it on the screen, but it's Karolina Kshenkova and Marek Grich leading with 800 points. And it's 10 points of advantage over Wiktoria Wierzba and Łukasz Gutkowski. The third place is taken by the other Polish team, Agnieszka Wysokińska, Kamil Kasperczak, who have 757 points. And then we have 3 teams with different 0 points. They did not finish by Lithuania, as Ugnieszka Belinskas withdrew before his ride, allowing his teammate Medea Ginetida to just come on to train on that parkour. With the nut start of Sidal Aslan and Dora Nusretoglu, and the elimination for the mistake in the change zone by Ilke Özyüksel and Bugra Unal. The Turkish coaches were not sure about it, came here and saw it on replay, so there is no protest. The elimination is being upheld, so there is 0 point for both Turkish team and the first Lithuanian team, in fact called Lithuania 2. But before we see the leading team of Lithuania, there is a pair from Switzerland, Anna Jurt riding Bacchus, and Vital Miller, who will come to the parkour as the second on horse Harris. We saw the first obstacle knocked down by Anna Jurt, and she decides to ride that line on the inside of number 8, so the line chosen earlier by Kamil Kasperczak, and that also didn't lead to knockdown. The knockdowns on that fourth obstacle were mostly those of by the athletes choosing the wider line, a little bit faster, theoretically for those less confident riders, but it didn't always succeed. Now we have the wrong pace for the number 7, which needs to be rebuilt quickly, as now after clearing that 8 obstacle and coming to the change zone, it is Vidal Müller to come to the parkour with the clearance on obstacle number 1, which was knocked down by Anna Jurt, as well as on the number 2 and 3, so it's still clear for Miller riding the grey-colored gelding Harris. 14 obstacle penalties for 2 knockdowns, 798 points, giving them second place overall, with 2 points of loss to the Czechs and 8 of advantage over Team Poland 1, which are Wierzba and Gutkowski. And now we are waiting for the next team. That's the team of Lithuania, with Elżbieta Adomaitite and Titas Puronas. Adomaitite riding Carthago and Puronas riding Lilienthal. The drawn horses are basically adjusted to the athletes, so it should be Adomaitite on Lilienthal and Puronas on Carthago as the base, but until the end of warm-up, the athletes are allowed to change the horses within the team, and that's what the Lithuanian pair did. We will see Adomaitite on the back of the grey-colored stallion Carthago, for whom it's the first ride of the whole championships, as he didn't start neither in women's nor men's competition, and he had the DNS of Sidal Aslan and Dora Nusretoglu in the first round of today's competition, and we will wait now for Adomaitite and Titas Puronas coming to the parkour, which should have happened a minute ago. There's the call for them to come so that there won't be any latings, as today's schedule is quite a tight one. And as you can see now, Elżbieta Adomaitite on the horse Carthago, as I said, on the grey horse, and now Titas Puronas on Lilienthal, the horse which yesterday had his clear ride under Dora Nusretoglu. And we can see now that Adomaitite has already started her parkour with 2 clearances on the first 2 obstacles. Now preparing the jump number 3 with a little bit loss of pace, and also coming very close on the inside before that jump number 4, which led to the knockdown. That rhythm was a little bit of lost by Adomaitite and in fact it ended with knockdown, causing the deduction of 7 points from the base value in the riding event, which is 300, the maximum result you can achieve on the parkour. And that's 7th clipped, but stays on the obstacle, and the correct change between Adomaitite and Puronas, and now it's the male part of that mixed relay on horse Lilienthal, going for his leg of the parkour, and he's deciding to choose the round on the outside of that parkour number, and up the obstacle of behind the obstacle number 8. Now a little bit struggling with the control of horse, and that ended with the refusal on the obstacle number 5. Now the second attempt on that, this one is cleared, but still it's minus 10 points for Puronas, as well as the knockdown now, and the knockdown of Adomaitite earlier in her right. Now he needs to hurry up with the time limit, as he lost quite a lot of time after that refusal on 5. Just 4 seconds ahead of time limits means 4 penalty points for time, 24 full obstacles. It starts with the knockdown on number 1 by Robičková, riding Vulcan for the second time. And we've got refusal on number 3, so struggling now. Robičková was riding, had a clear ride in the women's individual competition, riding Cardozo, and this time she decided to change the horse for Vulcan, who had all clear rides so far until that one. 300s by Kshenkova, Bojčeňuk and Talishkan in men's, and today clear one by Victoria Wierzba. And now the refusal on number 6 in the first attempt. In the second she managed to clear it, and as you can see now there's another knockdown, number 7, and on number 8. So well, she struggled quite a lot in that competition. The correct transition, but of course there's a lot of time lost on that 2 refusals, a lot of points dropped down on them. That's twice minus 10 plus all those knockdowns on the course. Now we can see Cardozo under Jakub Maleček, the Czech young athlete from the club of Dukla Praga. And now we can see that he's doing pretty well on Cardozo, with clearing all 5 obstacles jumped so far. That seems to be quite a slow pace, and thinking about the time limit, which will be surely exceeded after those 2 refusals by Robičková. Now we can see the clear right until the last one. That's the knockdown on the final obstacle. So we will have to count all those knockdowns, refusals, adding that gives us 55 obstacle penalties, 14 time penalties, altogether 231 points, with the total points of 749. It means Czech Republic falls down to behind the second team of Poland in the 6th place, with 2 teams yet to go, both being from Ukraine, and that's the team called Ukraine 1 for the purposes of the technical system, electronic system used for this competition, with Irina Kubrek and Kirim Shechmametyev riding horses Maximus and Promik. Maximus is the grey one under Shechmametyev. Promik, who is debuting today, as he hasn't been riding during women's and men's competition. Now he's going for that parkour under Irina Kubriak, and she starts it with 2 jumps without knockdown, as well as the third one, the vertical of Polish Equestrian Federation, which is also hosting some of the events in show jumping also here in Drzonków, also the dressage events, and there's a eventing team from the Polish national team, athletes training here in Drzonków, including the European Championships participant in 2017, Michał Knap, as well as his younger sister Victoria, who is also the member of the eventing national team of Poland, which is preparing for the Tokyo 2020 games with the team competition. Now we can see now the refusal and then the knockdown on the obstacle number 8 by Irina Kubriak under riding Promyk, and now it's Sheikh Mametyev on Maximus to try to recover from that bad luck of his teammate, starting with the knockdown on obstacle number 1, but now it's the clear one on the next 3 obstacles with that longer, wider line before number 4. But another knockdown number 5, and then the number 6 cleared one with Sheikh Mametyev trying to help Maximus, but that doesn't bring a lot of good thing here, as well, he finishes it with 2 knockdowns, a little bit of exceeding the time limit by the Ukrainian team, with 36 penalties overall, 5 for penalties, 31 for obstacles. That gives them 835 points overall, which is quite a lot. In fact, as it is despite that not a very successful ride, they had quite a strong advantage over the rest of the field, giving them now the lead in the overall classification before the start of their compatriots Irina Bojcenyuk and Vladislav Chekan, who are called Ukraine 2. You can see now Bojcenyuk on Dark Diamond and Vladislav Chekan on Kakan, and it will be Bojcenyuk to start the competition of that final ride as the first one of that duo. That is the clearance on the obstacle number 1. A little bit of slipping by the horse on before the 2, but doesn't result in any mistake, in any knockdown or refusal. No deduction of points. Now a wide line again before that jump number 4, which is cleared, but that's not a good pace for that parkour, for that longer ride. She's riding surely, but quite slowly. Now very strong turn before that number 6, and number 7 now with a very bad round. Number 7 knocked down. The correct exchange between her and Vladislav Chekan, going now on Kakan, and there's a refusal, but manages to stay in the saddle, but as you can see now what Kakan did, that was a bad one here, but well, managed to recover without the need to rebuild, and another one the same, but this time with the fall. The time is still going, so he needs to get to the saddle as soon as possible. But managed to do it well, and he lost the shoe. I think he cannot place the shoe in the correct place, but he's now preparing for the third. No, he's going around it. I think he was called not to jump it, not to attempt the third jump, which would result in the elimination in case of the correct jump. Well, Vladislav Čekan, after yesterday's mistake on the on the warm-up arena, on the warm-up parkour, causing the elimination and much bigger problems for Ukraine to get the gold. Today he's decreasing the chances of the leaders, of him and Boychenyuk in the mixed relay. Before that final event, on that 2 refusals, obstacle number 9 on Kekan, unbeaten so far with all the clear rights until now. So we've got 77 penalties, 796 overall, causing them from the almost more than 50 points of advantage to fall down to 4th position. So quite a big problems for the team of Ukraine, number 2, but it's the Ukraine one with Irina Kubrak, Kerim Shekmametyev at with 835 leading the field before the laser run, which starts at 3:30. So that I invite you for that competition. Thank you for your attention and see you soon.